So now the next question is we have to find the given is that wind velocity field in the atmosphere is given by W equals to sine xy I cap and sine yz j cap plus sine zx k cap. We have to find the divergence and the curl of W and also analyze the rational rotational components of the wind and check if W is solenoidal or irrotational. So first we will write what we have to find. So first thing we have to find is that divergence. Next we have to find is curl of W, and then we have to check whether the divergence and the curl and the rotational component whether they are solenoidal or irrotational. So let's start with the question. So given is that W is sine of xy I cap plus sine of yz j cap plus sine of zx k cap. So first let us solve for divergence. So for divergence we would find out gradient of W. So to find the gradient of we would take differentiation with respect to x of the first term, that is sine xy, plus differentiate the second term with respect to y, that is differentiate the sine of yz with respect to y, then differentiate sine of zx with respect to z. Now the gradient of W that we obtain is y cos of xy plus z cos of yz plus x cos of zx. So this is nothing but the divergence of W. Now by seeing this answer we can say that our divergence is not equal to 0. So अगर हमारा divergence अगर 0 नहीं है तो we can conclude that W is not solenoidal, right? Now the first part of question is completed. The second part क्या है? That is we have to check for curl of W. So W was nothing but sine of xy I cap plus sine of yz j cap plus sine of zx k cap. Okay. So now, so to find the curl, we will take the cross product of gradient and W. So we would write I cap, j cap, k cap, derivative with respect to x, y, and z. Here we would write the first, second, and third term, sine of xy, sine of yz, and sine of zx. Now let us obtain the determinant. That would be for I cap, it would be derivative. So here we would do this one like sin this, so we would multiply this minus this, so we would get derivative of with respect to y of sine of zx minus derivative with respect to z of sine yz minus j cap of derivative of x with respect of sine of zx minus derivative with respect to z of sine of xy plus k cap we would take derivative of sine of yz minus derivative of sine of xy with respect to y. So now by solving this, we would get curl of w, that is nothing but I cap in bracket 0 minus y cos yz minus j cap of z cos of zx minus 0 plus k cap 0 minus x cos of xy. So our final answer would be minus y cos yz I cap minus z cos zx j cap minus x cos xy k cap. So this is nothing but the curl of w. So हम यहाँ पे कह सकते हैं since हम क्या कह सकते हैं, हमारा जो कर्ल है which is not equal to 0, hence w is not irrotational. So in this way हमने यहाँ पे कर्ल find out किया, then we find out the divergence and also stated whether it is irrotational or not solenoid. So this is our final answer.